He has sat down. We have seen clips. We know exactly what the interview's about. He's went in. He has literally said, you know what? Everyone's getting it. Ten Hag, you're going to get it. Ralf Rangnick, you're getting it. The Glazers, Gary Neville, Wayne Rooney. I'm surprised he hasn't mentioned you, Mr. Mills, because you've had a go at him a few times on air.
To be fair as well, I think when he first came to United, he took a couple of forearm smashes as well, which he didn't like. Back when that was how he used to be able to deal with him. 20 years ago maybe. That might have been. Yeah, God, it nearly was 20 years ago.
20 years ago, it was.
That's a long time ago.
It was nearly 20 years ago.
Long time ago.
The timing of the interview, I think that's sort of key here. We don't know when the interview was exactly done. We're going to find out tomorrow.
It's a little bit like the Lukaku one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's been done, it's been held, and it's been released to give maximum devastation, maximum effect when he can walk away from it. It's that one, isn't it? It's the old one. You open the door, you throw a few smoke bombs in, a couple of hand grenades.
You shut that door.
Shut the door, and you walk out.
Yeah.
And you just let chaos descend.
That's
exactly what he's done.
Yeah.
Exactly what he's done. Completely planned, completely premeditated, and now, because he's away on international duty, British press won't be able to get to him. People won't be able to ask him questions. But because the way the World Cup press works, only certain questions can be asked by FIFA. No, nothing to do with clubs.
But they will. He's the captain, so he's going to be put forward by Portugal. Surely someone's going to ask him that.
Yeah, they will, and they'll just say, sorry,
no answer.
No questions about club football, only about Portugal and internationals. And so he can get away with it for a month or so.
All right, we're going to discuss the bad, and there's a lot of bad, and people get in touch.
Good in it.
Is there, though? Is there anything good about a player being able to come out and speak their mind? We beg these players to talk. We always say players nowadays are robots and we have no connection with them, and a player speaks and we go crazy about it. Is there anything positive in it? About the Glazers, about the club being backwards, about technology at the club being low? You know all about that kind of stuff.
From what we've heard so far, I would say no. You can have grievances. I work in the business world as well. You don't just walk into a business and go, that's rubbish, this is rubbish, he's no good, that hasn't evolved, that hasn't moved on. You say, right, okay, how are we going to change this? You go and see the right people and you say, right, look, this needs to change. Let's get this done. When Mourinho comes out and does that against players, we absolutely slaughter him. We lambast him for having a go at players, having a go at whatever. So why should we do exactly the same to Ronaldo? Because he's done no different from what Mourinho's done.
He will argue, and his supporters will say, look, there shouldn't be two rules for Ronaldo and everyone else, but he is the best player ever. He's the best, arguably. Messi 1A, 1B.
Maradona?
Maybe 1A, 1B, 1C. Ronaldo, R9, we can keep going, can't we? But surely he's going to say, look, I've been there, I've had a look at the club, I've come from a giant of a club in Juventus, a giant before that in Real Madrid, I've seen how they operate. This club isn't being operated the same, and you can open up the trophy cabinet and see it's not been.
So go to the right people.
How do we know he's not been? How do we know he's not been to the right people and they shut the door on him?
This is the same
and he's
argument.
like, you know what, I'm going to speak it out now.
It's the same argument we have when Mourinho does it. No one went, oh no, let's feel a little bit sorry for Mourinho because he's been to the Glazers, he's been to Ed Woodward, he's been to whoever, he's trying to change things and he's been told no, he's asked for more money to bring in better players. No. And then he's digs the players out or has a go at people. Oh no, Mourinho's bang out of order. Most people say that. I don't. I think still one of the best coaches in the world, in my opinion. But Ronaldo's done exactly the same. There's a way to do things. That's not how you do it. We know full well. You don't walk out on your team. You don't refuse to come on. I don't care if you're the best player in the world.
No, those things are wrong, Dan. But also, you mentioned things like United bring in a sporting director in Ralf Rangnick. What's that about? He's right about that. Fans have moaned about the Glazers. Is he not right about that?
When Ralf Rangnick was brought in, he was brought in as a sporting director, a very good sporting director. Look at what he's built in terms of football clubs and what he does. As a coach, I agree, hopeless.
Yeah. And that's what Ronaldo was referring to, wasn't he? He's like, how have we brought in, we've sacked Ollie as a coach, and we brought in Ralf Rangnick to replace him
but
as a sporting director. But to
turn around and say, I've never heard of him.
It's rude.
That's disrespectful.
It's rude and it's untrue. Yeah.
It's arrogant. And if he's never heard of Ralf Rangnick, who built the Red Bull system, then clearly Ronaldo's not very in touch with football. Clearly that just goes to show me that if that's genuine and he'd never heard of Ralf Rangnick and he'd never heard of Red Bull, that's more than a little bit arrogant. That's not being in touch. So what else does he not know about? Does he not know about the youngsters at Man United or the young players, or does he not care about those that he's supposed to be teaching, supposed to be helping? That's what you do as you get to a senior player. The moment you get above 27, 28, you start going backwards, and I start looking at the players that sort of helped me out. You used to get 27, 28-year-olds giving you advice, and you're going, yeah, what do they know? They drive Volvos, and they've got mortgages and 2 kids. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you get to 27, 28, and you've got those things. Okay, maybe better than Volvo, but you've moved on a little bit, and you start to give advice back, and you start speaking to some of the young players and going, you know what? Just think about this. Teddy Sheringham did it to me when I was in the England team. I was 25. Teddy was, 35, 36. Teddy would come sit down and have a coffee and just say, look, when you're in advanced positions and you're going to cross the ball, just think about this. Just do this. But you're personable. You're doing things in the right way. You're trying to help people, trying to educate people. That's not trying to help people. That's not trying to put things right. That's not trying to educate people. That's ranting and raving to get his own way and to make things about him. Simple as that.
So ultimately the aim is to get out of the club. That's it, right? He's done it now. Obviously, the World Cup's over. December 26th, transfer window opens 4 or 5 days after that. He's doing it to get out of the club. And it's going to work, isn't it? Ronaldo's not going to put on another He's not going to put on a Man United shirt again, is he? Surely not. Come on.
No, I don't think he'll play for Manchester United again. But I'd be tempted if I was Manchester United to just let him rot. I would go to every single lengths to fine him as much as possible. Bearing in mind, a Premier League contract is 70-odd pages long. You have to ask permission to do interviews. You cannot bring the club into disrepute. You cannot disrespect the club. There are a million different clauses in there that say you have to do as you're told and perform. I think it's still in there that you have to do, not community service, but you have to go into the community for a certain amount of hours a week. I would make him do that. I would make him do... If you're not going to do it, you're going to get fined. And I would keep taking money off him. That's not going to hurt him because he's got more money. But the fact that he's still at the football club, if you let him go, he can go and score goals wherever he wants and he can get his stats up. Some of the best stats on the planet. We're not arguing about that. That's what he wants.
Not so far this season, just 3 goals.
So stop him doing that. Stop him going to play. So if you want to punish him, stop him going to play somewhere. Keep him at the football club and make him do everything possible and make his life a misery.
We're going to hear a bit from that Ronaldo interview a bit later. It is explosive. Some of you are saying it isn't explosive. It certainly is explosive when the best player in the world comes out and has a go at the club that he supposedly loves. We want your opinions on it. Give us a call, 03717 223344. United fans, even non-United fans, get in touch. Can you see any right in what Ronaldo's done? Or is it, as Danny says, just wrong, negative? Give us a call. Phone lines are open. Text us as well, 81089.
Kick off, straight talking and straight to the point. Every Tuesday to Thursday night from 7 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.